Hi, my name is Sherwin. I'm from Suriname. I grew up there, lived there till I was 18, and then lived in the Netherlands for like 12 years after that, first to study and work a bit, to to grow as a person. That's actually when I came out. First I was very uncomfortable with my family to come out. I didn't know a lot of gay people in Suriname when I was a teenager, so it was a rare concept to me. So I kept to myself about it, and some close friends knew, but I wouldn't call that coming out. My close friends were very cool about it, and I have 3 brothers as well, and they were also not the first ones I told, because for some reason, although I'm very close with them, it was still sort of hard. Your family is like the hardest part of telling. Then I went to Holland to study. Actually, I was 19 or something, and until I was 23, I got into a serious relationship, and that's actually the part when when you're in a relationship, you're happy, you want to share that with everyone, but you can't, because before that it was just all fun and games, and you don't like go to your parents, hey, I have sex with men, you want it to be more than that. You had nothing else to tell. So when I was actually in a relationship, I was in love for the first time, and I wanted to share that, and that's actually the time when I started thinking about how I'm going to tell my mother and my father. And so this was around, I think, I started a relationship in maybe December, or January, February. I was thinking about telling my parents, but I didn't know how. And I knew 6 months later I was going to go on holiday back to Suriname. So I was thinking of telling them then. But then someone advised me, like, maybe it's time, maybe you should tell them in an email. How maybe unpersonal it sounds, but it was a chance for me to get the whole story across without being interrupted, without emotions getting in the way, And so I started writing this email. It took me a couple of days actually, with deleting, editing, before I actually sent it. And at one point, yeah, I told them I was happy. I had a boyfriend's name, I'm gay. And I sent in the end, and then I heard nothing from them for 2-3 days. And then I heard they called my brother, like he was also living in Holland at the time, and they talked to him about it. And he knew already by that time, and I told him, he was like, why did you wait so long to tell me, because we were very close. He was waiting on the time for me to tell him. So it was actually cool that he was the one that he could talk to in the beginning to get advice, to talk about it in the situation before they went to me. And I was offended at the first time. Why won't they talk to me? But actually, in the end, I started understanding and getting the puzzle together. I expected, like, okay, I came out, they should accept me. They love me, right? But how long does it take for you to accept yourself? So why not give your parents the same time? Maybe it's not that long, maybe not 18 years or 23 years. But it took me a while. And then by the time, before I had to go on holiday, 6 months later, I was already in good contact with my mother, calling her. She was asking questions about my boyfriend back then. And then it started to get normal. She started asking more questions. And then I think it's time, this generation has to educate our parents, Mostly they're not busy. If they're not gay themselves, why would they research it for no reason? So I think it's our job as well to educate your parents. And once you come out, keep talking about it, not put it back in the closet and like, oh, they know already, don't mention it anymore. I think it's good to keep talking about it. Not pretend, act like it's normal, because it is normal. So I talked about my boyfriend, I've talked about it was, and then they started changing. And when I knew my father accepted me, it was the point when he said, if Sherwin comes to Suriname and someone tells anything bad about him, I'll beat him up, And I was like, oh my God, my father loves me, he's there for me. And that's when I knew I was actually okay with it to come to Suriname. I didn't bring my boyfriend with me, but it was 6 weeks of just relax, If I would have told him then, I don't know how the situation was the whole holiday. Probably no fun, awkward, and just like that. But I gave them some time actually to adjust to the situation. And I know it cannot be for that for everyone, sometimes you live with your parents and it's quite hard to do it. But I would still encourage to do it. You know, if it depends on the situation. If you sort of deep down know in your heart that your parents will never ever put you outside and you're in that situation, even though it's hard, I recommend to tell them, because you're keeping something from them. They're missing out on you. You know, like who you really are, like who you really are. You need to share that with them, because you're their kid and they need to know who you are and be yourself around them. And I, till this day, you know, I'm talking about everything. My whole family now is like, I actually have also a gay cousin, a girl, she's a lesbian. I was also the first one that came out, and it was sort of easier for her with my uncle. And then another cousin also came out, so it's sort of like a effect, you know, like that creates. And what started happening is that uncles and stuff like started calling my mother for advice and this and that. So it's sort of like they say like the pay it forward kind of effect. You know, like you do something and then the other one like shares it, some stories, and then in the end, you know, like I'm in a lucky situation that my whole family is okay with it. But even though, you know, you're lucky, it can also be hard because it's something very personal you need to share with someone. And yeah, it still could be still hard for anyone to tell that story, even though you know your parents could be okay with it. It's still a hard story. You never know what this reaction could be. But I think for both parties in the end, it's going to be the best situation, because you can be yourself. You know you're not lying to yourself or to anyone else, and you give them all of you. If they don't like that part of you, then it's their side of it. But at least you know you gave all of you, and what they give back, you cannot control it. But do it for you and not for them.